You buy a stack of self-improvement books, read the first chapter with a cup of coffee, and then leave them to collect dust for 6 months. This happens because most people scan text with their eyes, while their minds remain passive, waiting for information to stick through repetition instead of processing. To fix this, we are going to look at the specific cognitive mechanics used to accelerate information intake and long-term retention. By restructuring how you engage with a page, you convert the act of reading into an active retrieval process that works with your brain's natural filtering systems. Take a physical 300-page nonfiction book off your shelf right now. These methods only work if you apply them to a text immediately, moving from observation to actual practice. Reading Chapter 1 before you have a plan is a mistake. The Interrogative Protocol requires you to define your objectives before you open the cover. You must answer 3 questions. What specific problem is this book trying to solve? How does this new information connect to what you already know? And where will you apply this in your daily life? When you establish a specific purpose, you provide your brain with a filter that identifies and prioritizes relevant data. This shifts your brain from a passive state into an active search mode, looking for the answers to the questions you've already posed. Seeing a 300-page book as one giant task can trigger a biological avoidance response. The perceived cognitive load is too high, which leads to procrastination. To bypass this, tell yourself you are only going to read one single sentence. This utilizes the Zeigarnik Effect, where the brain experiences tension from an unfinished task. Once that first sentence is read, the brain seeks resolution. This creates momentum and triggers a dopamine response, making it easy to read several chapters. High-volume reading is not about willpower. It is about reducing the initial friction so momentum can take over. Most readers ingest pages of data only to realize 10 minutes later that they can't recall a single point. To prevent this, you must use an active retrieval loop. This is a mandatory pause you take every 2 to 3 pages. Close the book, look away, and summarize what you just read in your own words. Reading is a passive input. Retrieval is an active output. By forcing yourself to recall the data, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with that information. Memory is built through the effort of retrieval. The harder it feels to remember the point, the more likely you are to keep it permanently. The human brain is not optimized to remember strings of abstract words on a flat page. It is optimized for spatial awareness and movement. To maximize retention, you must translate text into mental imagery. This is called visual encoding. If you are reading about economics, visualize the flow of capital as liquid wealth rushing through a system of industrial pipes. If you are reading about complex biology, imagine cellular interactions as tiny neon-lit warriors battling fiercely inside the cell walls. Attaching a dramatic or bizarre image to an abstract concept provides a hook that the brain's long-term memory system can easily grab onto. Long-term consistency fails when you view the effort as something you are trying to do. Aspirational language like, "I'm trying to read more," frames the behavior as a chore that is separate from who you are, making it easier to abandon when you're tired. Instead, adopt a definitive identity. I am the type of person who devours books and fuels my mind like a machine. Psychologically, we have a deep-seated need for our actions to match our self-perception. When your identity is that of a high-volume reader, the behavior becomes a baseline expectation rather than a daily struggle of willpower. You now have the system to bypass procrastination, engage with a text, and retain what you read. Your previous difficulties with focus were not a biological limitation, but a lack of a structured retrieval system. Subscribe to this channel for more evidence-based systems to improve your cognitive performance. Comment below with the title of the book you are starting today. Read smart.